Hey Libra, welcome to Arya Moon Tarot, and thank you so much for being here. This is your love reading for anyone with Sun, Moon, or Rising in Libra. It's a general reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. If it doesn't, check your other placements. All right, let's get started. So we have here Mercury retrograde. This is reinvention. And we also have the King of Swords. Okay. I'm so drawn to this 51 on this Mercury retrograde card. It's bringing me some sort of like Six of Wands vibes for whatever reason, but really the energy of 6, which is really stable energy. Potentially something coming into more stability. This could be something that you've noticed about this person, something that's changed about your connection, or something that you can look forward to. So I just want to throw that out there because it's just jumping out to me so significantly right now. Like it might have something to do with this connection or who this person is. They could have recently just moved into a position that makes them more stable, or received some sort of promotion, or graduated, or something like that, like moving into a more stable energy, into a more victorious energy. That's just totally random message for somebody, but that might give you a clue as to who this person is. With this Mercury retrograde, I can't not think about the idea of revisiting something from the past. So the person who can't stop thinking about you very well could be someone that you have had a past connection with, someone you have history with. This is definitely someone who is intelligent, very intellectually focused with the King of Wands and this Mercury energy, very quick, very, very smart. This person is possibly an air sign, an Aquarius, a Gemini, a Libra. I'm also getting, this is funny because like a similar message came through for group 1, different timing on it, but like for some reason in this reading I'm getting messages about the time of year that is significant, and in this case you might have some sort of winter connection with this person. Maybe a birthday that is during the winter, or an important memory that you have with this person that took place in the winter. Interestingly enough, January, February is being highlighted here. Yeah, really interesting. So let me know in the comments down below if you know, like, is it a birthday? Is it like when you met this person, or an anniversary or something? I do feel like this is a past connection for a lot of you. I'm also hearing that this could be someone that you didn't hear from all winter, or something like that. You went a long time not hearing from this person, and it could have been during those months. Yeah, let me know. I don't know what that's about. What I'm seeing here is that this is the type of person that weighs the pros and cons about everything. They're very intellectual. They can be very in their heads. They're always thinking. They're always considering. This is someone who likes to have all of the facts, have all of the information. You know, that could be why this Mercury retrograde energy is here. Especially if this isn't a past connection, because there's something about going back over things. So it might be that both are true. This could be a past connection, and what I'm about to say might be true, but it could just be that that this person is really going over. It could suggest that this is the type of person that goes over and over and over the details of this connection. They tend to replay conversations that you've had. They reread old messages that you've sent them, or old letters that you've written them. They replay interactions that you've had with them. Mercury energy, King of Swords energy, I'm getting a lot about intellect and about communication. If this is someone from your past, I feel like something in their situation, some part of their life circumstance has changed. really a feeling of reinvention with this Mercury card. They've reinvented some part of themselves or some area of their life. Or they're very aware that they need to. These changes that have been made, or the changes that need to be made, may very well have something to do with previous discussion you've had with this person. With this retrograde energy, this could be something that the two of you talked about, something you asked them for, something they promised you. Yeah, I'm getting that. I'm getting that feeling that this has to do with something the two of you have communicated about, something you have spoken about, and they're either implementing this change or they're thinking a lot about it. One thing I will say about this person is they think, they reflect, they take the time to do that. So like if you're thinking maybe that conversation went right over their head, maybe they don't remember that conversation, maybe they're not even trying to make those changes, I would say that's probably not the case with this person. This is someone who's either already implemented the changes or they've thought a lot about it. So they're trying to figure out how they can. Whether this is a past connection or not, something about this has prompted a lot of thought for them. And I feel like they give you credit for causing some sort of big change within them, which is causing them to make or to want to make some kind of big change in their life. It's like a feeling of needing the outside to match the inside. So if they're approaching this big transformation and it's an internal thing, they also want that to be reflected on the outside. They want to be able to show you. They want to be able to show themselves. They want to let the change be known. This can also, it's so funny. As I'm saying that, I'm thinking, is this about your relationship potentially coming to light? Because there is kind of a feeling that they want something to be known. They want it to be obvious. They want it to be revealed. They want the way that this has changed to be apparent to everyone. So this could be like a connection that was hidden at one point, or it wasn't made official enough for anyone to really share it publicly. And it could be that they want to move to that space. We're going to look at the tarot in a minute. Maybe we will pick up more on what's going on there. Yeah, there's something in their life that they really, really want to change. It feels like that they're feeling that somewhere along the line, they may have misstepped or they got off track in some way. They might have felt like this connection got off track at some point, or maybe like it didn't progress according to the timeline that they originally expected, or maybe it's the timeline that you originally expected. But I'm hearing 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So that could be about this connection. Like every time it seems like there's progress, you guys have had to kind of like back up, or they have personally had to back up and like rethink things, reconfigure things, that kind of energy. You're never far from this person's mind, though. It feels like they're constantly revisiting thoughts of you and maybe even revising interactions that they've had with you in their head, imagining things going a different way. I feel like that's a big part of what they think about. Should have said this, should have done that. If I had said this, then I bet we'd be to this point by now, or something like that. It feels like they imagine themselves being more of this King of Wands. This King of Swords energy. It feels like they feel themselves, or they want to imagine themselves being more assertive, more direct, more communicative in general. So this could be a huge indication of what they want to, how they want to change. Change to embody this King of Swords. Change to have clarity around what they want and have more clarity around how they communicate that to you. Let's look at the tarot. I feel like for some of you, this person is living in the past a little bit. It could be that this is all part of the transformation that it feels like they're going through, to kind of look at what has happened in the past. But yeah, that's what makes it feel like this might be a past connection, because they really are, they're kind of replaying things very often. Okay, we have the Lovers in reverse. The Lovers actually showed up in reading 1. So interesting that we have it here. Let's see what else. Two of Crystals in reverse. The Hermit. A lot of reflection. There's so much thought. This person is, there's just so much mental energy. I don't know if that's because they're just like highly intelligent, or if they always rely on their intelligence, but there's a lot of mental energy here. Authoritarian. This is the Emperor. Let's pull 2 more cards. There it is. Got the 5 of Cups and Temperance. Okay. Let's look at this. Whoever this person is, they're feeling some kind of disappointment about how things played out in this connection. I feel like there's a range of the level of disappointment that they feel. For some of you, especially if this is brand new, it might be minor. It could be they just wish they had said something different the last time they saw you, or they wish that they had more time to spend with you, something like that. But because I'm picking up on, like, for a lot of you, this is a past connection. This is someone you have at least a little bit of history with. It can be heavier than that. I think the amount of disappointment that they're feeling is a little bit heavier. With the Swords energy that we were talking about before, with this King of Swords, they may be disappointed in themselves for something that they said or some way they communicated in the past. This can even be a little bit of regret about something that they didn't say rather than something that they did say. So this can be that they left something out, that they should have been more forthright, more forthcoming with their feelings, or with filling you in on some detail that happened in the past. Like I was saying, it seems like this person wants to be or is moving toward embodying the King of Swords energy. So they may be wanting to be someone who's able to communicate more clearly, or wanting to put words to the things that they're feeling, like figure out a way to communicate that. But I do see them worrying that it might be too late, that they may have lost their option with you, or that their choices may be limited now when it comes to this connection with this Lovers in reverse. That's really the feeling I'm getting. And by the way, like, it's not necessarily the most uplifting thing to have the Lovers come out in reverse, but the fact that the Lovers are here, it's actually a sign that the feelings in this connection run pretty deep. And really what this is saying to me is they feel like their choices have been stripped away. The Lovers is all about choice. And in its reverse position, it can talk about strained relationships or about challenging communication. So they may have had a difficult time communicating with you, but because of whatever difficulties there are, whatever obstacles there are to get over, they wonder if they still even have the option, like if they can still choose you, if you're available for them to choose at this point. it feels like, what's interesting to me is the Lovers in reverse too. Like another message that's coming through is that feeling of like something is off, like something's not in harmony. So they might be worried a lot that this connection isn't as harmonious as they would like it to be. I'm kind of reading the cards in this way, like the Lovers being the first and Temperance being the last. And what I think is really interesting about that is we're starting out with disharmony with the Lovers in reverse, and we're ending with balance and harmony with Temperance. So this is again showing me that this is somebody who wants to move to this more balanced place. They want to move into this King of Swords energy. They want to move into the energy of someone who is commanding, is in control of themselves, is in control of their communication, is very direct, is purposeful, can get their point across. You know, do you get what I'm saying here? It's like, it almost feels like they were a little bit out of control, or like they didn't love, not out of control in a chaotic way. Let me try to figure out what this energy is. It's more like they may have acted in ways that they don't feel was an authentic representation of what they wanted to do, what they wanted to say. And they want to correct that by now behaving towards you in a more authentic way. I hope that makes sense. But they worry that they've blown their chance. Some of this person's values may have recently come into question. It looks like it did prompt some kind of shift in them, something in them that makes them want to move into the King of Swords energy. There's really strong Aquarius and Gemini energy here, but there's also some Earth energy, particularly Virgo energy present. So they may be feeling a little self-critical right now, almost wishing that they could rewrite history with you. At the same time, though, it's like they know that the transformation that they're going through is necessary. Something about this connection has pushed this person forward on their own personal growth journey. So this kind of like big energy with the Lovers, the Hermit, the Emperor, the Authoritarian here, and Temperance. 4 major arcana. It's big energy. It's almost like this connection forced this person to grow. There might have been some problem with commitment here, or a challenge when it comes to making a firm decision. With the 2 of Crystals in reverse, if they had to, I feel like if they had to weigh different options, and especially if it's a choice between 2 very distinct options, they might have been confused about which decision to make. So much so that they might have chosen to take the path of not really making any firm decision at all. But they are trying to figure out what they really want, or how they want to handle the situation. They know that they can't actually change the past. They can't go back. So this Mercury retrograde energy isn't going to allow them to actually go back in time and undo something that they've done, unsay something they've said, or say things they never said and change this in some way. They understand that. But they also understand that they have the power to reflect on what has happened in the past, or to take the time to reflect on their feelings with this Hermit energy. So they are putting themselves in a more empowering position to take a different action in the future by kind of like exploring what has happened. They can get caught up in thinking about everything that was lost, or how things could have been different with this 5 of Cups energy. You can see it's challenging. The challenge of the 5 of Cups is to look at what still is there. Look at what's still good, what's still positive, what still remains. Because there's 2 cups here. There's 2 cups that are still standing. There's 2 cups that are still great. And it's also at the same time tempting to just focus on the 3 cups that have been turned over. So I think that that's a challenge that this person is facing right now, and something that they're working through. It's really easy for them to relive these memories of the past and to beat themselves up. But they're trying to move into a space of being able to see what is still salvageable here, what communication could still be had, how could this still work out. And a lot of their thoughts are thoughts of the past. Yeah. I feel like in a lot of ways they're sort of stuck in a loop, and this may have been something that they've explored multiple times. They may kind of find themselves going into a place of revisiting the memories of the past and revisiting some of the ways that they could have done better, like some of the ways that they wish they had been more of the King of Swords. And that can happen from time to time, depending on how long this has been going on. They might find themselves in this reflective energy over and over again. I think they're really, at this point, they're focusing on, or trying to focus on, what's still left and what works and what opportunities they still have here. This can even be about them planning and preparing for the next time that they see you, or the next time the two of you speak. If there's something in the works, or if they're planning to contact you, I feel like they're in kind of an introspective mode right now, because they want to bring this new energy and the way that they have changed and reinvented themselves. They want to be able to bring that to the next interaction that they have with you. They want to say the things that they didn't say. So it's really a feeling of like, this person isn't reliving the past just for the sake of doing so. They're revisiting the past to learn. They want to learn from their past mistakes. They want to like figure out what worked, what didn't work, and actually do something different in the future. They want to bring harmony to the situation. Like I was saying, the Lovers in reverse, something's not right. It really depends on what stage of connection you're in, because this could be actually an issue that came up in this connection. Somebody, like, we're getting that past energy, so this could be a connection that ended. This can also just be that they aren't as close to you as they would like to be, that this connection hasn't progressed the way that they would like. So it feels like there's not harmony here where they want there to be, and they're trying to move into this energy of temperance to bring in that balance. They want to fix something, or they want to grow something. Let's look at some more oracle cards. Let's see. I feel like this person, there's something really strong about their will. Really getting Aries energy here from this person. So this can just be about how they operate, how they move in the world, but it can also talk about their signs, their placements. They could be a fire sign. We have stillness and transformation. My goodness, that I feel like that's what we were talking about, because we have this Hermit energy here, and there's something changing, there's a need to change, and there's some kind of transformation that this person has made. So I do feel like this is somebody who potentially has gone quiet, or when they're in the phase of trying to make this transformation, they retreat, they kind of turn inward, they go into this Hermit energy. So that's what the stillness is about. But this is exactly it. This person on the outside seems really still. They can seem like they're not doing anything at all. Like they're not reaching out, they're not talking, they're not making any progress. It might seem like they're not taking enough action, but that stillness is the Hermit energy, and it's reflective energy. So they are reviewing the past and looking in the mirror to find what needs to be transformed. They're not looking outwardly anymore for like circumstances around them to change. They're changing their perspective and changing their outlook in a way that's forcing them to look to find that change within themselves. Review and revise is how this is coming through. They are reviewing the events of the past so they can do this differently. Now this can speak to past relationships that they have been in, and ways that they've handled things that didn't work out so well, or that they weren't completely happy with. But I think for a lot of you, they are reviewing and trying to revise situations that happened between the two of you. I want to pull 2 more oracle cards. Hopefully they can provide a little bit more clarity. I would love to know if this is somebody from your past, because it just really, really seems like that. And it does seem like this idea of review and revise is like totally key to them. Like they really want to come through as somebody who's extremely mature and someone who is a leader and that can show you like what their thought process has been and what conclusions they've come to. So we have light body. Let's pull 1 more. And we have divine creation. Okay. So this light body card, it's actually interesting. It says independence brings comfort, past restrictions, ancestral healing. So this is showing this person going through a major transformation, like we were talking about here, and a healing process. And it's also, to me, reiterating that that energy, that hermit energy, that still energy, and that reflective place that they're going to. Independence brings comfort. It's like they need time to pull away and to figure this stuff out for themselves, or they're taking the time, or have taken the time, because the next time you're around this person, they want to be like in command and control in some way. They want to be very direct. They want to get some things off their chest. They want to tell you things. I feel like they really replay what has happened and think, I could have handled that better, or I could have been more direct about how I was feeling. So they're really in this place of like needing to reflect on these things and needing to bring about some change and I think to them it's feeling like healing, because a lot of this can be habitual patterns that this person has experienced. They're breaking away from past limitations, ways that they felt restricted before. This card says past restrictions. So I feel like this person most likely has felt restricted in communication, with Mercury being a planet ruling over communication, and we have this King of Swords energy. They probably have felt restricted when it comes to being open and being direct about their feelings. So they're actually working on that. Let's look at this card, what this card says. Divine creation, acceptance, personal commitments, and euphoria. I feel like this person is going through a process of accepting what happened. They don't want to repeat the same mistakes, but the first step in that is to kind of accept how things have played out thus far, so that they can figure out how to change things going forward. And I also am getting the feeling that they're making a lot of promises to themselves. They're making promises about how they are going to behave, how they're going to act, how they're going to communicate, and how they're going to move toward this happier and more harmonious feeling. Really interesting energy here. Yeah, I think that's all the messages I see from you, or for you. I really think that for you guys, this is a past connection. Let me know in the comments if this is someone you had history with. This might even not be who you were originally thinking of when you clicked on the video. But potentially hearing the description might have triggered something else, and you might realize that someone else is really thinking a lot about you. So yeah, I think I will leave it there. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and letting me read your cards. If you liked this video, if you resonated with any of these messages, don't forget to like it, leave me a comment down below, and hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you again in another reading really soon. Bye!